Coming up on Network Africa. West Africa Regional Bloc ECOWAS asked Senegal to reverse election delay as opposition members of parliament get arrested in a poll crackdown. Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed denies deaths from hunger in conflict-ridden Tigray and Amhara region. Plus, the United Nations High Commissioner Filippo Grandi sounds the alarm on dire situation among Sudan's displaced millions, urging a ceasefire. And welcome to the program today. I'm Layo Olarinde. West Africa's regional bloc ECOWAS is calling on the political class of Senegal to take steps urgently in restoring the electoral calendar in accordance with the country's constitution. In a statement released, the Commission of the Economic Community of West African States advises authorities to hold the presidential election this month as scheduled instead of delaying it by 10 months. Senegal's presidential election has never been postponed. The Constitution does empower the Constitutional Council as the highest election authority to reschedule the vote in certain circumstances, including the death, permanent incapacity, or withdrawal of candidates. Well, this political crisis is coming at a time when the West African bloc is struggling to retain its members. 3 coup-hit nations pulled out last week after accusing it of inhumane sanctions in response to military takeovers. Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed has denied that people are dying of hunger in the conflict-hit regions of Tigray and Amhara, which are grappling with a food crisis. Well, Mr. Abiy was speaking to lawmakers on Tuesday, and he says there are no people dying due to hunger in Ethiopia. He, however, said that people may have died due to illnesses associated with malnutrition. The Prime Minister also acknowledged that drought was affecting people in several regions of the country, including Tigray, Amhara, and Oromia, but warned against politicizing the issue. Well, last month, the state-appointed Federal Ombudsman Institute said nearly 400 people had died of hunger in the northeastern regions of Tigray and Amhara in the past 6 months. The Ethiopian Human Rights Council, EHRC, has also blamed the federal and regional governments for not providing enough humanitarian aid to the most vulnerable. According to the United Nations, about 20 million people require food assistance in Ethiopia, and that's due to conflicts, drought, and also flooding. We move to Zimbabwe now, where the cabinet has supported proposed legislation to end the death penalty. And this is marking a pivotal point in abolishing capital punishment in the southern African country. According to the Information Ministry, the cabinet's decision was made following countrywide consultations. And should Parliament approve this bill, life imprisonment will now serve as the maximum sentence in the country. President Emmerson Mnangagwa has previously criticized the capital punishment. He himself was sentenced to death back in 1965 following accusations that he bombed a train while fighting against white minority rule. However, Mr. Mnangagwa's death sentence was commuted after his lawyers argued that he was underage. Zimbabwe's death penalty is a remnant of a colonial-era law. The country has not carried out an execution since 2005. Ugandan-born Judge Julia Sebutinde has been elected Vice President of the International Court of Justice in The Hague, Netherlands. The court announced on Tuesday that Ms. Sebutinde has been elected Vice President for 3 years in what appears to be a major vote of confidence in her. The judge recently caused controversy in the international community when she ruled against emergency measures requested by South Africa against Israel over the war in Gaza. Ms. Sebutinde is one of only 2 judges who issued dissenting judgments, while 15 voted for the emergency measures, which covered most of what South Africa had asked for in the case. The Ugandan government distanced itself from the judge's dissenting opinion, saying it did not represent the East African country's position in the conflict. Well, she has been an ICJ judge for more than a decade. She previously handled several high-profile war crime trials, including the prosecution of former Liberian President Charles Taylor. Well, millions of Chinese people are preparing for the Chinese New Year, which is also known as the Spring Festival, which falls on February 10th to the 20th. The New Year is the most solemn festival of the year for the Chinese and has been celebrated for thousands of years with various forms of activities among the diverse regions of China. 2024 is the year of the dragon. The New Year is a celebration that brings family together and sees a lot of travel, setting off the world's biggest human migration as millions return to their hometowns. Well, reports say snowstorms and freezing rain have disrupted transportation in large parts of China as millions of people travel for the Lunar New Year holiday. However, this has not hindered our guest for today, who traveled all the way to Nigeria to celebrate the New Year with family. We have joining us in the studios Ifeoma Amuche. You may remember Ifeoma from 7 months ago when she emerged best graduating student in the Southwestern University in China. She had captivated many with her incredible linguistic talents and astounding the audience even as she delivered a powerful speech back in 2023. Just before we come to you, Ifeoma, let's take a listen to the 2023 speech.
因为热，尊敬的领导、老师、亲爱的同学们，大家好。我是国际学院19级汉语言文学专业的陈月，来自尼日利亚，很荣幸代表2023届全体来华留学毕业生发言。大家也许会奇怪，一个外国人学汉语就可以了，为什么还选择读中文系？在中文系学什么？怎么学？学得怎么样？其实当时选择这个专业，我也很茫然。不仅要掌握汉字，还要掌握由这些汉字组成的诗词歌赋，我容易吗？在西南大学浓厚的文化氛围中，我加入了留学生诗词表演社团，和一群志同道合的同学参加了各种活动和比赛，获得了无数奖项。2022年，我们获得了东盟艺术节诗词朗诵1等奖，这是从全球25个国家120多个作品中脱颖而出的，只有2个1等奖。
Well, Ifeoma Amuche, welcome to the program and thank you for joining us. It's good to have you here in the studio.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Before I move to the questions I have for you, what was going through your mind while reading that speech?
I just wanted to make my school proud. That's it.
That's good. That's good. Well, you're back now. The last time we spoke to you, I mean, that was about 7 months ago. You had just graduated from school and, you know, made that captivating speech. But how is life now after graduation?
Life has been going well because now is another new phase of my life. I need to choose. It's either I stick for a work or a job or I further my education. So it has been a lot for me recently, but I would like to further my education, that is to go through a master's degree for a higher level. So now it's more like making choice for which course to take because I need to utilize my Chinese talents.
Indeed. Indeed. So you are around for the Chinese New Year. You're back to celebrate with family?
Actually, in Nigeria, we don't really celebrate the Chinese New Year just like the Chinese do in China.
Indeed, yes.
I came back for the New Year celebration in Nigeria. That's to see my family because I've been away for 5 years now.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, I'm basically here to see my family for the New Year and not for the Chinese New Year.
All right. So how was it seeing members of your family? I mean, you said 5 years.
That has been great. Like, it was overwhelming. I haven't seen them for 5 years, and my mom was shocked seeing me.
Was it a surprise?
Yes, it was actually a surprise.
Really
she didn't know I was flying, like coming into the country, but Yeah, I gave her the surprise she's long seen for. Like,
All right.
I was so happy seeing my family after 5 years.
And for Nigerians that are currently in China, they will be celebrating. What is that typical way of celebrating, you know, the New Year?
Okay, in my school normally call for a small meeting, or maybe I will call it a celebration with international students, where they gather us and give us some Chinese red packets. That is, they put money in a red packet. Okay. It's called hongbao in Chinese. And then we are given some gifts. And some of the times, some students and teachers will visit every student living outside the school. Like, they pay them a visitation and wish them the Chinese New Year, and also give them some red packet. So it's nice.
That's really nice. Well, you're back to the home country. What was your impression, you know, after being away for some time? And can you compare, you know, what it was back then to what it is now?
Okay, I would say everything has changed. I left for China 2019 March. Okay, then I would say the transportation and the roads aren't that bad, but now it seems very bad. Like, and I don't know how to call it, but seriously, everything is so strange now. But I know maybe it's for the better, I would say.
Well, things are changing quite all right.
Yes.
But what is it about the Chinese New Year that is really important? We've had some celebrations here in Lagos, I mean the Chinese community, and even some Nigerians celebrating alongside the Chinese.
Yes. The Chinese New Year is a very big festival in China, where they follow the lunar calendar and not the normal calendar. So the lunar calendar, they normally changes. And of course, this year is called the Year of Dragon.
Indeed.
So this is because of the 12 Chinese zodiac sign. This zodiac signs repeat itself every 12 years. So last year was the year of rabbit, and this year the year of dragon. So it keeps on changing. All these zodiac signs, they are decided by animals. Every year has each animal representing them. So now it's a big opportunity for Chinese members and like family members to meet up and reunite. It's more like a reunion with family members. So China take the Chinese New Year very important when it comes to this celebration, where people can flow from every part of the country or maybe from other places to come down and reunite with their family for this celebration.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about, you know, how the years are being named. This year is dragon, last year was rabbit. Is it something everyone is able to tell, or, you know, the authorities will tell you this is the year for the name of the year?
I would say everybody in China knows how to calculate the years.
So they already know the name?
Yes, you don't need the authorities to tell you, okay, this year we decide is the year of dragon. No, this is written far back. China's history have been more than 5,000 years ago. So they've been repeating all this since 5,000 years ago. So it's not like it's a new thing for the authority to tell the citizens, okay, here we decide this year is a year of rabbit and no longer a year of dragon. No, you can easily tell the Chinese, okay, this is my zodiac sign. And they will tell you, or maybe you were born in the year of dragon, and they will calculate it and tell you how old you are.
Right,
which is very amazing. I don't know how they do that.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. So for the animals and everything they are representing, every Chinese, I would say, know how to calculate it.
All right. So would you'll be going back to China?
Of course.
And what mark would you be hoping to make even as you're going back? You know, you mentioned you want to further your studies if you're not, you know, holding a job yet.
Okay, I would say I'll see what life has for me. I don't know yet.
Okay. Even for the course you want to study?
Okay, I'm looking into international business. Since China and Nigeria have this cooperative partnership between themselves. So I want to utilize the Chinese talent I have into business, helping Nigeria and also speaking the Chinese language, kind of the communication. Let the bridge merge together and not like, you know, language is more like a bridge that joins two cultures together. So I want to utilize this opportunity to see if I can go into international business. Yes.
Now, if you'd, Nigeria has the National Youth Service Corps.
Yeah.
Would you be coming back for that?
Of course I will. Of course, I will serve my country.
Yes, that is very important to serve your country. But, looking at China and Nigeria, comparing, where would you rather, put your feet down in and know that this is where I want to be and take my life to the next level?
Okay, I would say there's no place like home. But then, with what I'm seeing in Nigeria, I don't think the youths have any opportunity left. So for now, I would say I will be in China till I see a best opportunity or maybe a best job to come back to Nigeria. But I will always miss my home.
All right. Just one little thing I would ask you to do is to wish the management and staff of Channels Television a Happy New Year in Mandarin.
Oh, wow. In the Mandarin.
Yeah.
Okay. And so, 我祝 Channels TV 新年快乐，龙年大吉.
And I'll reply with Sheshe.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Ifeoma Amuche. It's been a delight speaking to you. Thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you.
Welcome back to the program. The United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, Filippo Grandi, has met with displaced families in Sudan who were uprooted from their homes by the ongoing conflict in the country. Well, many of them live in displacement camps across the country and are in need of life-saving assistance and protection. 10 months since conflict erupted in Sudan, nearly 8 million people have been displaced, both in the country and across borders into Chad, South Sudan, and Egypt, Central African Republic, and Ethiopia. The conflict in Sudan has also pushed the country's economy to its knees and collapsed the healthcare sector. Officials in Kenya say one person has been killed and 2 others injured after a marauding hyenas attack. After hyenas attacked them near a university outside the capital, Nairobi. According to family members, Anthony Pasha was dismembered and killed by hyenas while he was collecting firewood at a forest close to his home. With incidents involving hyenas increasingly frequent in that area, which borders the Nairobi National Park, residents say they are angry and are calling on the government for help. One of the wounded is a student at Kenya's Multimedia University who was attacked by the hyena late on Monday, and the incident prompted hundreds of students to block streets in protest against what they say is a lack of security on campus. In response, the Kenya Wildlife Service said they had tracked down the animal following the attacks, and the carcass is being tested for rabies and other diseases. Or faced with increasing attacks, the Wildlife Service in January had to release guidelines on how to react when confronted by the wild animal. At least 14 soldiers have died in the Democratic Republic of Congo and 500 others have been affected by a cholera outbreak in southeastern Haut-Katanga province. The army confirmed the deaths during a meeting with a delegation from the UN Children's Fund UNICEF office in Lubumbashi. According to General Eddie Kapend, commander of the 22nd Military Region, Mura Military Training Center, the outbreak was caused by unsanitary conditions at the military camp. In July 2023, a cholera outbreak in Kaleme, in neighboring Tanganyika province, left at least 10 people dead. Burkina Faso has become the second country in the African region to integrate the malaria vaccine into its routine immunization schedule. The country has officially introduced the RTSS malaria vaccine into its expanded vaccination program across 27 health districts. The WHO endorsed the vaccine 2 years ago, acknowledging that even though it is imperfect, its use would still dramatically reduce severe infections and hospitalizations. Burkina Faso is one of the worst hit places in the world. In 2021, almost 12.5 million cases of the disease were recorded across the country, equating to an incidence rate of 569 cases per 1,000 population. The The Association of Retired Career Ambassadors of Nigeria, ARCAN, has sent its condolences to the people and government of Namibia on the demise of President Hage Geingob. In an official statement, ARCAN also conveyed its deepest condolences to the family of the president, the people of Namibia, SADC, and also the continent. The association is praising the country for a peaceful transition and is wishing the new president, President Nangolo Lumumba, a peaceful reign. Bridging the inequality gap is a collective responsibility, and everyone should be involved in empowering the less privileged. A leading finance and investment professional, Lilian Olubi, shared this view and many more inspiring thoughts on her strides in a multi-dimensional career path on our program Transform Her.
I'm very curious about inequalities.
Right, okay.
And it has always just bothered me from the time I was little, just not understanding why, you know, there's like this imbalance in welfare, in the status, in life, and just many questions that you have.
Right.
And coming to this place where I guess not having an answer to that, but understanding or believing that if we have the opportunity, we should be a blessing. Where we have an advantage, we should
be the solution.
Being the solution
to the problem that you see.
Yes,
okay.
And having just the heart for impact. And so what I find looking through the thread of all these things that I do is that there's a lot of bridging. So if it's in the stories that I'm telling with Osamede, the story is a story of bridging. It's about communities, everything to try and bring shared prosperity. We work in the non-profits. It's also, you know, that everybody deserves healthcare, you know, and so if we have, we give. And so, and even with finance, not only what I do, but what I plan, you know, the expressions of financial work I want to do, it always has that theme of, you know, how do we support the less, the people with less opportunity.
For the full edition of this interview with Mrs. Lilian Olubi, do watch Transform Her at 4:30 p.m. on Channels Television. And in a move to promote African music in the Middle East, Nigerian creatives Scales, Ikomboy, and Caesar Empire joined their African and Caribbean counterparts at the TC54 Culture event in Dubai. Our correspondent Mayowa Adegoke has more.
Music stars from Africa and the Caribbean gather at the TC54 Community Fest in Dubai, promoting their music and making new inroads in the Middle Eastern region. The event features live painting from Nigerian artist Caesar Empire, as well as African-inspired fashion from multiple designers.
What TC54 represents is our originality, our diversity, our energy, our vibe, our style that nobody else can imitate. It's something that's special about us, and it's us telling the best of Africa through music, through food, through fashion, and arts and all the works. It's the authenticity of the African brand. That's right, that's right, that's right. Come on now. I see your love here.
Rapper Hillary is first to entertain the crowd with his first ever music performance as an artist. The event provides him an opportunity to showcase his talent in the city where he has now lived for 17 years.
How it feels, it's nerve-wracking, you know, that's the honest truth, but at the same time it's very satisfying, you know, like, because it's part of a dream coming true, right? It's going to start somewhere in an amazing platform with beautiful people around, so truly appreciative of that.
Angolan songstress Noor takes over with an electrifying performance that gets music lovers on their feet.
Blessing, you know, I'm really grateful to be here because I'm pretty sure that there are other artists that would like to be in the position that I'm right now, and I'm just like really enjoying all the people, like, you know, meeting the All Africa Festival, you, my manager Leah, Nina as well, Tonya, so all all these people like contributed for this trip, so, and this experience. So I'm really, really grateful to be here.
Armed with her guitar, South Africa-based singer-songwriter Berita belts out beautiful ballads before joining an all-star panel conversation with more artists, including Scales, Ikomboy, Dauda, and Herlene, who discuss opportunities for African talents in global markets.
I also believe in collaboration also, collaborating with like all these artists, that you feel like they have potential, helping them, supporting them, whatever we can. I've done my best also, like I'm an artist and I just do whatever I can do for them, and the rest is, history. It just keeps multiplying, the other artists sees another one, and it just keeps going. So basically, I mean, platforms like All Africa, what All Africa is doing already, I feel like it's perfect, because, just today alone, there was this lady performing, right, when I walked in. Dude, yeah, she's amazing, I just discovered her, and that's because of this platform.
While it is important to maintain ambition because of the fire that comes from having a personal ambition, we should see how we should put ambition second place to community. So have a more community-based mindset and understand that everything you're doing now is not just for you, but for the future as well. That's what comes to my mind.
More music, this time from DJ Mendy, who closes the show on a high note.
And that's it on the program today. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Layo Olarinde.